Oh, boy. I lit the candles and blessed the cards and took a minute and got everything nice. And I forgot to pick up the cards from last time. And I've chopped my head off again. But everything else looks pretty good. So forgive me. I've got to do this. And I might just switch decks because I've used this one a lot. And since I didn't pick it up, and anyways, might be a little tainted. We just have that leftover. I don't know how that works, but every once in a while you have to really switch up the decks, cleanse the cards. So what's right at hand? Well, it's not right at hand. Okay, I'll do these guys because they're right here. So there's maybe something about that. What's right at hand? Like you don't have to go looking too far. Like Dorothy. It's in my own backyard. Yeah, no, I'll do these guys. I'm sorry, it's just like catching it on the fly. The camera. Hang on a second. Let me do. Oh no, that makes it worse. I don't even know what makes it worse. I think it's better to be closer up. So then I can, it's better that you see the cards and you see the top of my head. So imagine it's there. Because it is. If a tree falls in the woods. Okay, this reading is for Gemini, an air sign. Your card is the Lovers. I mean, I like that. I'm Capricorn rising, the devil, which in fact is like the Lovers. In Rider-Waite, it's the same imagery. It's the two guys and the angel in the Lovers, and it's the two guys and the devil over in the devil. So they're really, they're very closely related. Very closely related. Sorry, just checking to make sure the camera was on. Oh, and the note. Oh, sorry again. It's kind of an allergic day, and I don't know what that is. Time to change the filter on the furnace or something, so shush. For Gemini, please. March. Give or take. What's going on? I mean, this seems sort of like elevator music or something, but I was thinking it snowed yesterday. It snowed a bit over the last few days, to the tune of maybe 6 inches or something, which is not a lot compared to what other places are getting. But, so it's gonna snow. And, somebody's come and helped shovel the walk. I mean, talk about help. A number of times as the snow keeps coming down. And it's gonna snow like hell tonight. A big major storm warning and all of that. So my question was, do I even go clean off the car? I'm just gonna have to do it again tomorrow. Do I let it pile up so it's a little bit of a bigger thing, but it's all at once? I don't have to do it twice. And I don't really know the answer to that. I really don't know. I think it depends on other factors, like, do I want to go to the post office? I better clean off the car. But I think, in bigger ways, we do that all the time. Do I take this on now? When it's only going to get bigger? Maybe I should take, and maybe you should before it gets bigger. But there is an inclination, too, to say, let it do its thing. and I'll clean up the mess at the end. You know, I'm not going to clean as I go. I'm going to let it exhaust itself. Let it get its, yah-yahs out. So let's see, Gemini March. What have we got for you? I predict your card will turn out, but okay, Four of Hearts. These are nice big cards you'll be able to see. This is one of those more meditative Four of Hearts. There's a prayer. There's love going out and coming in with this character's breath. You know, they're calling in love. They're sending it out. They're in a practice, meditative practice. Rue she's going to start slamming the cupboard door. When it's going to snow, she's like a barometer. She'll start wanting to get in the cupboard. And I might have to shout at her in a minute, so I'll give you warning. But this is coming to the calm place, the meditative place, maybe in the midst of a turmoil. You're finding a way through a practice, and it might not be, sitting down. Rue, stop it. I'll come in a minute. You wait. She knows a number of commands. Turn, sit, lie down. Hey, you want a spanking? Do you want a spanking? I had a nephew who used to stick his butt out and say, don't spank me, don't spank me, don't, and he wanted to be spanked so badly. So, in the midst of turmoil, you're finding a way to be calm by going inward somehow. We're going to have to ignore it. If I ignore it, it might stop. So tell me about this Four of Hearts for Gemini. And it's cup energy. I mean, Gemini is technically an air sign, but I love it that your major arcana card is the Lovers. Gemini, the twins, which can speak to, the two aspects of your character. In some ways, Geminis are kind of Janus-faced. Not like two-faced, but they just have, they're more complex than, they're not Johnny One Note. You're going to get different aspects of them will be called forth. And it seems to me this time it's a quiet, loving aspect. It's in solitude. It's not the Lovers, the two things. It can be the two aspects of yourself, Gemini. You're the twin internally. So tell us about Four of Cups, please, for Gemini. Ace of Wands. Shazam. I mean, it really is a kind of Shazam, because you go into this quiet place, a contemplative place, some kind of practice. And it could be, that's what I was going to say, rather than, sitting in full lotus, it could be you're out chopping wood. Chop wood, carry water. Walking meditation, there are lots of ways to get yourself to this place. It could be you're practicing a guitar or something like that. Puts you in the calm place. But it enables this, which is sort of like out of the quiet, boom, comes this Ace of Wands. And it also looks a little bit like you're giving somebody the finger. And there is that element of Wands and of Ace of Wands that is like passionate, ready to roll, ready to rumble. Let's go. It's not really this. But this may precede this, like a respite, like a somehow getting your bearings in quiet, and then, you know, that internal fire ignites. This calm place ignites, motivates action. This meditative, quiet place, is inspiring you. And it can be when you go into that quiet is when you hear the thing. I mean, that's one way it can happen. Sometimes you go into the quiet meditative place and you fall asleep, or, you know, you get a terrific itch that you want to scratch and you're supposed to be swami about it. But sometimes you get lit up. Ace of Wands. So it's not passive. It may be going into a kind of apparent passivity, which is actually this centering thing. And then, boom, you can put it into action. Oh, well. This is Four of Pentacles. This is not action. This is holding back. It's another four. Four of Hearts. Sorry, bang. Four of Hearts. Four of Pentacles. So it may be, you know, you go into this quiet place, you get this terrific surge. This is like a power surge. And this is sort of like the circuit breaker. You know, it's grounding it. It could be the literal, you know, in that electrical analogy. This is the ground wire. So, you know, given this, sometimes we need this. That sort of dampening effect. And in this, she's sort of clutching her pearls. That's not the vibe I get off this card. I get like, well, she looks a little apprehensive, I will say. She's kind of looking over her shoulder, like, you know, what is this? What's happening? I thought I was in a quiet place. Suddenly I'm in this fiery place. And this is a little bit hanging onto your hat. Because Ace of Wands is so, it can be so intense. It makes you kind of, do I really want to go there? Do I really want to go there? You know, is it this loving energy of Four of Cups, or is it just passion? Because there's sort of an element of that. One more I'm going to take, and then I'll go to the clarifiers. Bottom of the deck. Oh, lovely. Listen, this is Star card. A card of Aquarius, but it's an air sign. It's your fellow air sign. And this is, you know, ultimate wish granted. This is like, you know, I'm hoping for it, I'm wishing for it, I'm sending out and receiving this love energy, and I get the big ignition. It's almost like I'm picturing like a backfire on a car. Boom! It's like a thing that is a little bit scary. You know, it's a little bit in need of, you know, that kind of hold it back. But this is like your crowning glory. This would say, this is a card of healing and optimism and wishes granted and, you know, just so guided to where you need to be. And to me it would say, don't be afraid. It's a big thing. It's a fiery impulse, but it will lead you where you need to be. From the big picture point of view, Aquarius. You know, if you could, you know, go up, 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 and look down on the whole situation, this is like, yes, this is where I am. This is where I need to be. This is the healing place. But there's this momentary, like, you know, I'm not sure. What will I lose if I do this? Because this is a very kind of inspirational, you know, it's like you know, letting your freak flag flies. And then there's this momentary, like, no, I'm supposed to be in this passive place, and suddenly, you know, and am I really supposed to be in this place? That's a FaceTime call, so I'm not going to take it, but I'm really acknowledging it. I kind of wish I could. Oh dear, sorry, it's going to do that for a minute. It sounds like the church bells of the cathedral, and it's, there we go. So bing, 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 bing. You know, this is the healing place, the holy place, the holy place. And don't let it fool you. This kind of energy is holy too. It's kind of what comes to you when you go into that quiet place. You get the thought, you get the inspiration, you get the idea, you clench, and then you realize, this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel like I keep saying the same thing again and again, but it's quite it's an interesting progression. It really is. And you know, the cards don't always sort of go, you're here, you're there, and then finish. But this has that quality. Like a sentence or a paragraph that resolves in an absolutely wonderful last sentence. Okay. For Gemini, please. Let's clarify starting with the Four of Hearts. Knight of Swords. Your energy again. Air energy. Something coming in fast. And this is coming in fast. You know, after Four of Hearts, a kind of waiting period trying to envision it. And Four of Pentacles, some kind of hold up. And then out comes the healing thing. And this is sort of the delivery system in the form of a message or an idea, clarity that's coming to you. And that would also dovetail nicely with going inside, getting this idea. And it's more, it's not happening in your head. It's happening in your core. But it's inspiring this. Knight of Swords, you're on the move, baby. You're on the move. What does this knight have to say? What say you, knight? Oh, dear. And I keep, as I look at them, they're upside down, but I don't really read for reversals. It's more about the context. Reversals confuse me. But this is to say something about a painful situation, or you've gained an understanding, a clarity about a painful situation that allows you to move forward. This is sword energy. You know, which we've got rather a lot of. We have the Star, the Knight of Swords, and now the Three of Swords. So it may be something coming in a clarity or a message coming in quickly, you know, as an idea that addresses something painful. Something painful. Can you tell us about the Three of Swords, please? Wow, a lot wants to come out. Just give us one, two. Buckle my shoe. Okay, there's two. First up, four. We got another four. That's sort of interesting. Though, you know, when those guys repeat like that. This is a Four of Wands. This energy. But whatever this thing that pops up and is a little bit, almost overloads the circuits in that moment, leads to great stability in the same energy. Leads to a place of union. Any fours are kind of stable. So this is stable in a pentacle sense. You know, I'm buckling down, kind of. And this is stable in a, I'll be quiet and wait for it. And boy, does it ever come. And it's, you know, it's the building block for this. It could be I mean, this is sort of signifies home. It could be like an inspired idea about coming together, about home. It reminds me, it's the bower. I always refer to it as the bower. There's a bird called the bowerbird. Happens to be a dude bird. And in order to attract its mate, it goes and collects beautiful shiny things, or often blue things, and lays them out in a pattern. And some of them are just extraordinary. And then it sits there and sort of, you know, makes its call, and they're in competition with all the other bowerbirds who are trying to attract in their mate. They're Gemini, their lover. Well, this is the bower that brings you two together. You know, and it could be a literal place. But it's solving with a clarity some kind of painful situation or time or separation, of feeling hurt. Okay, I just saw the last card. Of feeling in separation. Well, this is not in separation. This is both of you in the bower. You've called somebody in. You've made a stable place. And the necessary beginning moment was Ace of Wands. That's a beginning. That's the inspiration. That's the idea for this. Queen of Wands. I mean, you're coming through as highly intuitive, somebody who would be completely receptive to this. This is her element. She works with intuition. She allows the intuition, she allows things to come to her. So whatever it is you're building, this stable structure that will house both of you, is what it looks like to me. It might entail work, but it mainly entails being receptive to this inspirational idea, to this fire that, what is that fire in the belly? Lit up. All right, yeah, this will work. I'm just Yeah, that's fine. Traditional Rider-Waite. I'm going to try to give it a shuffle. These cards are so little at the time. Okay, well, that worked. One left. Picking it up. 5 of Cups. So there's been a loss. There's been a period of sadness or a feeling of regret, a grieving period. And there would be, you know, because this is not easy. Whatever this was hurt you. But is there recovery? Like in so many ways. This is the opposite of this. This is like, I've lost it. This is like, no, I'm home. I'm home. And while I said this could be a literal place, it's also, you don't achieve this without doing the inner work. You know, so it's, first it happens internally. You know, because also aces can refer to this singular person. And then with that you can construct the bower. And this was on Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords here, your energy, this message. And I said, and it's right next to 3 of Swords, this sort of painful situation. As is this. Your energy is coming in to address the apparent loss, because there are 2 upright. There's a connection right there. When you're done being sad, you know, when you're done feeling hurt, 3 of Swords, you end up in this absolutely magnificent place. And you're not by yourself, you know, crying and alone. You've turned around, and there's you know, it's sort of like you've been home all along. After the sadness. And why? Because you're building it. You know, this isn't about somebody, you know, this isn't about you wandering through the forest and coming across a place just by serendipitous. This is something you've built. You and your lovey. So it's a quick understanding coming in to kind of address these problematic. So tell us more about the 3 of Swords. Also an air energy, right? It wants to say a lot. I'm gonna let it. This one too? No. Okay. Well, I think it's 3 cards on the 3, which makes a lot of sense. I'll show them. Oops, I'll show them to you. I saw one reversal. Oh, again, Star. That this card repeats, the card of healing, of being in the right place, falls on 3 of Swords, the card of pain, and something going off the rails. Back on the rails. You're where you're supposed to be. You've been guided to this place. Whatever seemed like a missed opportunity, because that's another meaning of 4 of Cups, you know, is not, or this guy, I'm so focused on what I've lost that I can't see the thing that's 2 of Cups right behind me. This is like, you're right where you're supposed to be. Whatever these mishaps were, they were necessary. They were necessary to get to getting here. They were part of your healing. It was part of your healing. sometimes, you know, we heal. I mean, when do we need this energy? When we've been hurt, when something's been hard. And it's coming in for you. She yodeled. Aquarian energy. In the overview, Aquarius, in the overview, you're where you're supposed to be. Right now. You're already in the bower. You know, whether you've constructed the actual place, you're in there in terms of your fire, your purpose, your intention, your direction. Okay, and then we have the mental block at a crossroads. That's on Four of Wands. No, I'm sorry, I was going to pull 3 on Three of Swords. So this is a blocking energy. But in this case, it may be blocking the hurt or the healing, or both. It's being of two minds. But star energy, Aquarian energy, is not of two minds. It's of the bigger picture. In the bigger picture, Queen of Pentacles. In a stable, I mean, this is home. You know, this is providing for yourself and for others. It's a nurturing energy. It may be this person in the bower with you. I'm not really sure. But it's healing the hurt and the block. Because major arcana are bigger than the other guys. These minor arcana speak to what happens to you day to day. So in day to day, it may have well sucked. And you may have been of two minds, like, what do I do? Which way do I go? I can't decide. Both options seem, you know, I think they're both bad. Lesser of two evils kind of thing. But that whole perspective is healed. Here and now, it's healed. And, you know, this is a card of stability, of home, of, like, being where you're supposed to be, star energy. In 3D. So this arrival at the place is not just in Aquarian up in the perspective, the overview. It's also right here, right now, in this place. In this place. So I'd like a couple on the bower, please. On the bower. Chariot. A card of balance. A card of getting there fast. A card of the two. You know, it's something is in accord. You're on the same page with somebody about this Four of Wands, and you sort of have to be. It's the bower. It's not the boxing ring. You know, it's a balanced, forward moving, like we're not only here in the moment, we're taking it forward. Victoriously. We got this. You know, it's a reconciliation. It's both entities. You know, here are the two people. Well, there's actually a kid also and some rabbits and stuff. But basically the two people under the bower and the two people, the two sphinxes pulling the chariot. It's like we're in accord, we're pulling in the same direction to get home, to get here. Fast. Chariot. Yeah, okay, one more please on this Queen of Wands. This attracting it to you. You may be building it, but you're not, you don't have to sort of it out. Page of Wands. Again, this thing. You know, in your hand. it's sort of from the universal hand, this inspirational thing that lights you up, this fire in your belly. Is a number one, good news. It's a direction. It inspires you. It's on Queen of Wands. It can be good news coming to you because you've attracted it. In the same energy as Four of Wands and Queen of Wands and Ace of Wands. A lot of fire on the board. Action. But she's not per se an action taker. She's intuitive, but they draw things, draw what they want, draw what's right for them to them. And this is sort of like you're picking up that wand, that idea, and but it's also kind of being offered to you. You don't have to chase it down. Whatever this is, you don't have to chase it down. You know, the bower, you'll find it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we can do. I'm going to clarify this Four of Hearts, this place you go before you get the inspiration. What's that about? Oh, interesting. That's interesting. We've got, first off, the card of struggle, the card of compromise, the card of working something out in fire energy. Again, wand energy. And remember I said it could be like the need to go into Four of Hearts because there's a need to get quiet. Well, you would after this. This is a struggle. It's not a bad thing. I mean, do we need to do this? Yeah. We need to sort it out. And it falls on the card of practice, I just like to say, because, remember I referred to this as a practice, a meditative practice. Could be chop wood, carry water, whatever it is. It's something you do to get centered, and that you would maybe have to after something. Well, after this, because it is exertion, it can be tiring. Can be tiring. Queen of Cups on Four of Cups, Four of Hearts, same diff. That calling love in, breathing it out thing. Well, this is the feminine principle, and now we have how many queens? Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Virtually, I mean, you're 3/4 of the way there to being the full Monty of the receptive, nurturing, I'm here and I will receive. I grow things. Unconditional love. So I'd say, there's been this sort of somewhat tiring struggle. You've gone into this love place. And you're embodying it now. However you solve this struggle, or you rest from this struggle, it fills you back up. You may have overgiven to a situation. Well, your heart is revived through this Four of Cups thing, through this quiet pulling it in. So tell us about Ace of Wands, the ignition. Blast off, because remember that finger poking up that's a wand, that's on fire. Blast off. Now that's too many. Okay. Or do I? No. And it's followed by Four of Pentacles, that sort of holding back. This is kind of like, I see it as like, you know, when you're at the beginning of the race, you're getting ready to take off, and this is sort of like vroom, vroom, you know. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like vroom, peel rubber. But it's also considered, you know, it's not like I'm going to be inspired to go any old where. There's a considered kind of weighing up of stuff. I think you're creative, you're open to intuition and impulse, but you're also taking the time, Pentacles time, to weigh the, I don't want to say options, because I don't think that's right. But maybe it's like the what do they call it? The risk-benefit factor or something like that. Like, if I take off, lift off, you know, where will it bring me? Am I ready for this boop, new beginning? And the next clarifier will be on Four of Pentacles. This would be like throttling down. Like throttling down. Maybe to take a moment, to just one more moment to say, the Two of Cups. After Two of Pentacles, this weighing up, you know, it's the undeniable connection. So are you throttling down? Are you holding back? I don't think so. Upon consideration, Two of Pentacles, and from this Four of Pentacles, you know, almost full stop, the circuit breaker, going for the connection. That electric analogy keeps coming up. You're going for the connection. You are. One on the Star, which has appeared twice. Star twice and Chariot are the major arcana so far. So what's about this big perspective, this healing, this being where you're... This is again a card of building. It takes time. You know, this bower wasn't built in a day, kind of thing. It had some struggles, some hold-ups, some circuit-breaking aspects to it. But this is the card of building together, this bower, this place where you can actually live, Pentacles. It took time, but it's stable. Was it worth the effort? Absolutely. Because you've constructed something beautiful together. And I mean, here you are. You know, here you are in the place. You've been guided to. You know, and you've constructed it. Not sort of in terms of plans or idea or this inspirational, I know how to do it, not in your head. You know, Knight of Swords is sort of like, I got the idea, but this is the idea put into action. This is actually where you can live. And it's where you're supposed to be, the Star. You've been guided to the place you're supposed to be. And it took as long as it took. Maybe 3 years. You know, Pentacles are time. And you don't, this is a cathedral. Whatever it was you're building, you know, it's not an erector set. It's not Legoland. Not to cast shade on that. But this is something, you know, the star has an element of like the holy place, being guided to the holy place. This is a cathedral. It looks like a cathedral. And I'm thinking, you know, the National Cathedral in DC took like many decades, perhaps hundreds of years. I can't really remember. They finished it after, you know, it was during my lifetime, but well into my lifetime, and started like in my grandmother or great-grandmother's generation to build a cathedral. So this Bower place is also a holy place. It's a bower, but it's real. It wasn't built in a day. It was built over years. But from the big picture, Aquarius star, it's just right. It's the bower, it's home. On this planet, right here, you've arrived, Aquarius. I'm sorry, Gemini. But you're rocking Aquarian energy. Very clear from the big picture. From the big picture right down to earth. You're housing it. You're housing the holy place. I mean, Gemini, March. It looks pretty good. It really does. It's like, oh man, you're building something beautiful. Beautiful. And yeah, and I don't know how that snow thing fits in. You probably do it both ways. You know, I could see that. You clean it as you go along. You shovel it as you go along. And it takes a long time and much effort. Pentacles. Big investment. And it's paying off. Paying off for you and your honey pie. All right. See you next time. Like, subscribe if you would. Bye.